Ciao papà. Sai, è divertente. Io ho questo ricordo di te che mi torna spesso in mente e ci pensavo sempre quando lavoravo o prima di andare a letto. Perché, sai, serve a calmarmi. Avevo all'incirca 14 anni e tu cercavi di insegnarmi ad avere il passo leggero. Te lo ricordi? A stare attento a quanto rumore facevo quando mi muovevo. Cose semplici. Ora lo capisco bene, ma allora... Io, devo dirtelo, pensavo che fossi un vero cretino. Beh, mi dicesti che saresti salito in camera tua e che ti saresti seduto con le spalle alla porta a leggere un libro. E volevi che aspettassi almeno 15 minuti e poi mi intrufolassi nella stanza e ti toccassi la spalla senza che tu ti accorgessi che ero entrato. Mi ricordo persino qual era il libro che stavi leggendo. Era quello del capitano Johnson. E mi avevi detto che se non ci fossi riuscito avrei dovuto ricominciare da capo. Poi sei salito di sopra e io ho aspettato. Ho aspettato ancora e ancora. Ho aspettato 4 ore prima di decidermi a salire. E poi ci ho messo altri 20 minuti per arrivare alle scale. Poi altri 30 per arrivare in cima. Poi 10 per fare tutto il corridoio. Ed ero alla porta. Ho sbirciato dentro la stanza. Speravo così tanto che tu dormissi. E invece no. No, tu stavi ancora leggendo. Lì me la sono quasi fatta sotto. Ma 10 minuti dopo ero a 1,5 metri da te. A quel punto ricordo di aver appoggiato un piede e tu ti sei ritratto. Leggermente, ma ti ho visto farlo. Pensavo di essermelo sognato, ma tu mi avevi sentito. Eppure non hai detto niente. Hai guardato l'orologio, hai afferrato un bicchiere, hai bevuto un sorso e ti sei rimesso a leggere. Ma sapevo di avere fallito, anche se non avevi fiatato. Sul momento non capii perché. Alla fine scattai e ti toccai sulla spalla. E tu ti voltasti. Wow, fantastico, mi dicesti. Poi mi sollevasti in aria e mi abbracciasti forte. Nemmeno io dissi niente. Ma papà, sai, ero così arrabbiato. Volevo mettermi a urlare. Avevo fallito e tu lo sapevi. E non mi dicevi niente. Io bruciavo di rabbia. Fu così per settimane. Pensavo che tu mi stessi trattando come un bambino. Pensavo che ti fossi reso conto che non sarei mai e poi mai diventato l'uomo che volevi che fossi. Poi qualche anno fa di colpo ho capito. Avevi guardato l'orologio per darmi un indizio, vero? Mi hai fatto vincere perché ero stato paziente. E questo ti aveva colpito. Sai, forse in quel momento hai ritenuto più saggio comportarti da padre, anziché da mentore. Io non so se sono 2 facce della stessa medaglia. In ogni caso, sono felice di sapere che quel giorno c'erano sia mio padre, sia il mio mentore a badare a me. Allora non potevo capirlo. Ma ora sì.
Consegnerei il pacco io stesso, ma ora sto codificando un database. Ora fa attenzione. Il canale dei dati è controllato in continuazione da programmi di sicurezza. Devi aggirarli di nascosto, altrimenti distruggeranno i dati che sposti.
I have now resumed the practice of dressing as a man, and have put off my woman's dress.
Why did you take it? Who made you take it?
I took it of my own free will, with no constraints. I prefer a man's dress to a woman's.
You made an oath, Jeanne. You swore to never again dress as a man.
I never meant to swear that I would not resume the practice.
Why have you done so?
Because it is more lawful and suitable for me to return to the practice of wearing a man's dress, being always among men, than to have a woman's dress. I have resumed it because a promise made to me has not been.
How is he?
Hour 3, doing well.
Are we still in 18th century Hungary?
No, his connection is so stable he's jumped between a few ancestors today. We're in 15th century France now. Turns out he's related to one of Joan of Arc's executioners.
Surprise.
Eileen, yesterday Vidic asked me to help him work out some of the bugs in his audiovisual renderer, and I told him...
No. Come on, Satish, not you.
It wouldn't be permanent. A few months at most.
Months? That will kill every ounce of momentum we have.
It won't, I promise. Honestly, I think this could help us. If I can get a look at what these people are doing, we could...
Come on. He's trying to pull you over to his side. Don't you see that? He's luring you with quick victory and prestige.
That's not what this is about, honestly.
I need to get back to work.
Eileen, I'm sorry.
Do what you must. I'll survive.
Surrogate Initiative, Test Session 32, April 2nd, 1981. Host Eileen Bach, DNA sample SB1970.
Miriam, are you awake?
What?
Miriams are coming for me.
Who is the gods?
I see them from my window, amassing in the courtyard. My time is up.
Basil, don't say this. You don't know that.
Forgive me for this, Miriam. But I must tell you something. The artifact. We have it. But only Oscar and I know its location.
Don't tell me.
They will release you. Your family has connections. You must take the artifact and bring it to the assassins in Paris.
Please don't. I don't want to know. It's safer if I don't.
Hush now. If I die, knowledge of its location dies with me. You must bring it to the assassins.
Assassins? I don't understand.
The spy of St. Petrus.
No, I don't want to hear.
Sound 7!
Hello?
Eileen, hi. It's Carl.
Carl, I know it's you.
Sorry, you just sound exhausted. Did I wake you?
No, I've just been busy.
It sounds like it.
I'm just a little tired, that's all.
No, I mean, your project sounds fascinating. Your colleague, Dr. Warren Vidic, he called me recently and he told me what you've been up to.
He what? Warren?
Yeah, he told us about your research, memories, ancestry, all of that. He even asked if we'd be willing to come in and
No! Jesus, no! What the hell is he doing?
Eileen, it's okay. We signed some papers, non-disclosure stuff.
No! He's trying to fuck me over. Damn it!
Eileen, we just talked about my mother, just like you and I did. World War II. That's all.
It's the artifact.
The what?
Carl, if he calls you again, you tell him you work through me, okay? That's it. Vidic has been a pain in my ass for years. And I don't need him getting all the glory for my 2 years of hard work.
All right. So how should I go about this? I mean, the wheels are in motion.
I don't know. Just go through me if he contacts you again. Please?
All right.
You'll do that?
Of course. Yes.
Thank you, Carl. I'm sorry I was short with you. I've just been exhausted. That's all.
It's all right, hon. Just take care of yourself.
Morning, Eileen. We're almost ready. Just a few more adjustments.
Okay.
I had the team do some research on this artifact we've been chasing, and it appears the Third Reich actually found something matching its description sometime in 1940. Eileen, are you all right?
Sorry, yeah. I'm fine. Just a little scattered. Vidic called my ex-husband last night. He wants to put him in the Animus.
To find the artifact before us?
Exactly.
Well, it would be fast using Vidic's Animus. And maybe that would get us back to our original work.
Satish, if we let that happen, then all our money dries up. Lillian is paying for us to find the artifact, not improve our methods. Do you understand?
Right, of course.
I'm sorry. Let's just burn those bridges when we cross them. Are we ready?
Yes, just a few more adjustments, Signoria. I made a small change to the genetic input modulator. I'm hoping that buys us a few more minutes.
Even a few seconds would be nice. I'm ready.
All right, settle in.
È passata qualche settimana dall'ultima volta. Devi scusarmi. Il fatto è che, vedi, per te sono pochi secondi. Solo un veloce ascolto. Beh, ecco. Stavo parlando di Clay. Di Kazmarek, il soggetto 16. Sai, quando sono caduto in coma in Italia e mi sono svegliato nella stanza dell'Animus, è stato così rilassante. Mi sembrava di essermi svegliato in uno strano sogno. Un sogno in cui non era successo niente di tutto questo. Mi sentivo pronto all'ennesima giornata da barista al mio vecchio locale. Una di quelle giornate passate a lamentarsi delle donne e a chiedersi cosa fare della propria vita. Ma poi ho visto Clay, seduto là. Mi è tornato in mente tutto, pezzo dopo pezzo. E quando mi ha detto di Lucy, io... Cazzo, lo sai. Fa male. Vedi, ho realizzato che l'avevo uccisa senza pensare né sentire nulla. Non in quel momento, almeno. Poi, man mano, ho ritrovato tutto. Tutti i ricordi di Ezio, di Altair, la prima civilizzazione, e poi, appena prima di svanire, Clay mi ha passato i suoi ricordi. A me. Mi ha mostrato tutto ciò che ha visto e vissuto. È stato breve, ma così intenso. Non credo di poterti spiegare. Ha visto momenti di Adamo ed Eva, della loro fuga per la libertà. Ha visto l'inizio e la fine della guerra tra prima civilizzazione e uomini. Ha visto Minerva e Giunone e Tinia che cercavano di fare i loro calcoli. O almeno è così che li chiamavano. Avevano degli strumenti, delle macchine potentissime, in grado di predire il futuro più probabile. Non che cosa succederà, ma quello che potrebbe succedere. Le probabilità. E così hanno investito tanta energia per cercare di capire quale sarebbe stato lo scenario più verosimile. Il loro e il nostro futuro. Alla fine credo che abbiano capito che io ero il candidato migliore a disposizione. Un tizio di nome Desmond che sarebbe vissuto all'inizio del XXI secolo della nostra era. Ma quale sarebbe stato il Desmond giusto? Vedi, si sa, la probabilità è una cosa strana. Gli esiti sono davvero imprevedibili. Di quale versione di me avevano bisogno? Di un Desmond che si sposa giovane e fa un figlio? Di uno che vive da singolo a New York? O del Desmond che se ne va a San Francisco a fare il cameriere? O forse di un Desmond che si mette a fare il tatuatore a Chicago? Oppure di me, senza che scappassi e lasciassi la mia famiglia così presto? La prima civilizzazione aveva l'imbarazzo della scelta, ma alla fine il fortunato sono io. Io sono il Desmond sbucato fuori dai loro calcoli. Il Desmond a cui hanno lasciato il loro messaggio. E devo convivere con questo onore. E che onore. Sono così stanco. Continuerò più avanti. Ciao.
È stata controllata.
Spero che vada. Ho usato questo telefono per registrare giusto un paio di volte. Ciao papà. Siamo tutti qui a New York in un motel. Nel Queens in realtà. Nella zona di Astoria. Rebecca sta comprando le batterie per qualcosa e Sean è in camera a fare le solite cose da Sean. E tu sei andato a comprare da mangiare. E io, dovrei prepararmi a fare irruzione in un ufficio del distretto finanziario. Mi ricorda quando ci preparavamo per una delle tue esercitazioni, sai? Passano 10 anni ed ecco che ricompari tu. Ed è come se nulla fosse cambiato. Siamo sempre qui con le solite follie, le cospirazioni, la paranoia. Solo che stavolta ti credo. Parola per parola. Credo che tu non conosca nemmeno la metà di tutto quello che ho visto. Non sai quanto ho imparato in poche settimane. Tutto quanto, davvero. Mi sembra di aver vissuto per 1000 anni, o per 10.000 forse. Non so come spiegarti, ma quando hai visto così tante cose nel mondo, attraverso occhi diversi dai tuoi, ti prende la tristezza. Vedere persone incredibili e intelligenti combattere sempre la stessa battaglia e ripetere sempre gli stessi errori. Perché la cultura e il sapere e la storia, cose come queste, non si passano attraverso i geni. Ogni uomo deve imparare tutto dal principio. Come vivere, come sopravvivere e lottare per ciò che è giusto. Ma ogni giro si perde così tanto e si aggiunge dell'altro a ogni generazione. Che spreco. Ogni volta imparare tutto da capo e di nuovo. Ho conosciuto Clay, sai? Clay Kazmarek, nell'Animus. Conoscevo il suo codice Abstergo, soggetto 16, il mio predecessore. Mi ha mostrato delle cose, le ha trasmesse a me, poco prima di morire o di essere cancellato, non so. Tutto ciò che conosceva, tutto ciò che sapeva. Dio, come posso spiegarti? Sai, credo che tu l'abbia addestrato, vero? Dopo la mia partenza. Ti ammirava davvero molto. E ora che ho visto attraverso i suoi occhi, capisco perché. Sono felice che ci fosse per te quando io non c'ero. Ma le cose che mi ha mostrato sono incredibili. E io non ho mai... Oh, merda. Torno tra un attimo.
I nostri ricercatori hanno esplorato la vita di Altair ibn al-Ahad, sperando di trovare un modello positivo per i programmi di espansione globale dell'Abstergo. Purtroppo questo assassino rinnegato è ben lontano dall'esserlo. In buona parte dei video lo vediamo dileggiare allegramente alcuni dei tabù più radicati nella sua cultura, con un'arroganza che sconfina nel messianico.
Altair, no! This is not our way! To burn a man's body is forbidden!
Molti nostri ricercatori pensano che le argomentazioni del suo rivale, un uomo chiamato Abbas, fossero più chiare e persuasive dei grandi discorsi di Altair. Ho fatto richiesta perché si dedichino più risorse alla ricerca di un qualche discendente di Abbas, se ne esistono. Si evince che le trasgressioni di Altair furono la causa primaria dello sfacelo dell'ordine degli assassini, alla metà del XIII secolo. Quindi consigliamo vivamente di ignorare la sua linea e favorire una personalità più gradevole e stimolante dell'epoca. modo strano di vedere un colloquio.
In che senso?
I primi rapporti indicavano Ezio Auditore come candidato ideale per i futuri progetti dell'Abstergo. Il suo carisma, il suo magnetismo e il suo umorismo facevano di lui un leader. Tuttavia, la sua corruzione da parte degli assassini lo ha privato di tali qualità, facendolo scivolare sempre più in una spirale di vendetta. Spesso Ezio dà prova di accettare passivamente il male. È un uomo decisamente contraddittorio, che predica la libertà di pensiero ma che viaggia per fare proselitismo in nome di un credo corrotto, come si può vedere qui con questa impressionabile giovane cinese di appena 20 anni. Notate come in lui, nei suoi gesti e nei suoi modi, ci sia ancora l'istinto del libertino. L'intera personalità di Ezio si regge sulla pura demagogia. Dice che la sua filosofia è l'amore, mentre violenza e coercizione sono il primo modo con cui affronta i problemi. Pertanto siamo giunti alla conclusione che Ezio Auditore da Firenze è un personaggio rischioso da usare.
Non sono responsabile dell'incompetenza. Modo strano di vedere un colloquio.
Surrogate Initiative, Test Session 32, January 11th, 1981. Host Eileen Bach, DNA sample SB1970.
Miriam? Miriam, is that you? Are you in here?
Bartel!
Oh, thank God you're safe. You've been very sick.
Bartel, how did they find you? Oh, Jesus, what would they do to you?
Has they hurt you at all?
I told them nothing. All they do every day is ask about you and that artifact. But I didn't tell them anything. Nothing.
I know you didn't, Miriam. But how are you? You aren't hurt?
Not badly, no. I'm fine.
Good. We need to get the message out to Oscar. Somehow. We need to tell him where...
Very interesting footage, Eileen. This is Germany, you said, World War II?
Most of the memories I've been able to access come from a period where Miriam was imprisoned by Nazis in Cologne.
Miriam. Is she still alive?
No, she was my ex-husband's mother. She passed away about 5 years ago.
Well, she was spirited. An impressive lady.
Definitely.
And the man, Bartel. He made reference to an artifact. Any idea what that is?
My team is looking into that, but it's not our first priority. We still need...
It is now.
Really?
You must have other recordings of this woman. Are there any other mentions of this artifact I should know about?
Half a dozen or so, yes. What's this about?
You have questions, I understand that. I don't have answers for you. Not right now, but I do have money. And if you get me those recordings and bring me any other artifact references you find, then I will triple your operating budget for as long as I can.
Triple my budget? My God, what is this?
9 a.m. Monday morning, my office. We have a lot to discuss.
But Lillian, I don't...
Have a good weekend, Mrs. Bach. Fantastic work.
Hi, it's Eileen.
Hey, how are you?
Good. Busy, cold. The winter's been terrible.
Seamus won't like that. The weather's been mild out here.
Well, he's only coming for a month. He'll live, and I'll be so busy he won't have to worry about his mother bothering him.
Still working 12-hour days?
I should move a bed into my lab.
Look, if you're too busy, Seamus can stay with me.
No, I want to see him. We'll have fun.
You're not too busy to be a mom and a genius.
Of course not.
His flight lands at 8:15 p.m. tomorrow night. You'll be there?
Of course, 8:15.
p.m. Let him know you'll be there.
Thanks, Carl. I need to run. I'm sorry. Take care.
You too.
Eileen. Didn't see you come in.
I'm not interrupting?
No, it's fine. The subject is unconscious. He's traipsing around 18th century New Orleans right now, in the memories of a woman.
That must feel odd. How long has he been under?
83 minutes.
Whoa.
It's average. What can I do for you?
I just wanted to thank you for sending Lillian to see me. She came away very impressed.
There. You see, all these bureaucrats need is a little glimpse of our secrets every so often. They like to feel like they're still in charge.
Lillian is most definitely in charge. She just tripled my budget.
Tripled? Christ, Eileen. You must have discovered who killed Kennedy.
Well, she heard something on one of my tapes that interested her. Something about an artifact. Very vague, but it was enough.
An artifact? What sort of artifact? Jesus, get him out of there! Get him out! It'll kill him! He's not decoupled! He's having a fucking seizure! Power down! Now! Heart rate 170! Power down! Now! Eileen, Warren here. I was all ready to apologize for the late call, but you seem to be away. Maybe with your son. Listen. Since the unfortunate incident with Subject 1, there's been a lot of dire talk around the office about my Animus project. About shutting it down. About it being unsafe. Typical top brass bullshit. And if they shut me down, then your surrogate initiative goes away too. I'm sure you're already well aware of that. Well, let me be the first to reassure you. This will not happen. I will not let them take this from me. From us. I will not let one death of an undiagnosed epileptic, I should add. I will not let this destroy the decades of incredible research done by our predecessors. And the 5 years I've spent perfecting the Animus. There's still more work to be done. And countless rewards to be reaped. So I wanted you to be the first to know. I have decided to volunteer myself as my second subject. I am convinced that the Animus is perfectly safe, provided I stay within the boundaries of my own ancestral bloodline. Next week I plan to prove this by staying a full 4 hours in the Animus. I would be grateful if you and your team would monitor my progress. And after this necessary but ridiculous proof of concept, I give you my word that I will work closely with you to solve your outstanding problems. Your surrogate initiative is a bold idea, and I do believe it is the future of the Animus project. But while we have the Animus itself, I do not want to waste precious opportunities to prove its safety. I'll see you in the office on Monday. Goodbye.
Una maggiore sicurezza.
Timestamp August 16th, 2013. The following audio clips were selected from over 160 hours of reel-to-reel tape found in the residence of the late Dr. Warren Vidic following his murder in December 2012. According to labels on the tape's canisters, these recordings were made over a 14-month period between 1980 and 1981 without the consent of their primary subject, Mrs. Eileen Bach, a colleague of Dr. Vidic's and the originator of Abstergo's surrogate initiative. Mrs. Bach is now deceased. It should be stated unequivocally that Dr. Vidic made these recordings illegally and of his own volition using wiretaps and hidden microphones. Abstergo Industries had no knowledge of his actions and disavows any responsibility for them.
And we're live. Capacitors at full. Ease the signal in. A little more. You feel anything?
Don't be timid. Double it.
No, we're taking it easy. 20%.
30.
Eileen, go easy. We're 6 past yesterday.
And boost the inputs.
Too risky.
Not if we split the I/O signals.
25%. Ease up.
Oh, okay. There. I see something.
What is it?
Mein Gott. I hear talking.
You're okay?
Ja, ich höre Stimmen. It's German. Mein Name ist Miriam Kurz. I see a light. It's cold. Ich werde nichts sagen. There's a man with me. Mehr werde ich nicht sagen.
Keep an eye on our vitals.
Mein Name ist Miriam Kurz und ich bin eine Navajo. Des Hitlers Zwang, der macht uns klein. Noch liegen wir in Ketten. Doch einmal werden wir wieder frei. Wir werden die Ketten schon brechen.
Eileen?
Denn unsere Fäuste, die sind hart, ja. Und die Messer sitzen lose. Für die Freiheit der Jugend kämpfen Navajos.
Switch off.
Powering down.
Kämpft Navajos.
Get her out of there. Oxygen from the valve.
No. No, Satish, I'm fine, really.
Quit the heroics. Just breathe. Better?
Yes, thank you. Did we get something?
It'll take a while to pass. What did you see?
It wasn't just seeing. It was feeling. Being. I was scared.
You were shouting in German?
I think I was in Germany. I was in Germany, Satish.
Good morning. Well rested?
Exhausted. Yesterday was an incredible find.
Seems so. What did it feel like?
It's foggy, but I relived the memories of a young German woman. Early 20s, I think. A man was interrogating me, looming over me and asking questions. He was shouting, but I was shouting back. And then this poem just came out, like a chant.
Fascinating. I'm eager for you to hear the tape.
Is it ready?
Yes, we transliterated the data onto an audio file. It took all night to process the language.
Spool it up.
Of course. Have a seat. Judging by the subject matter and the setting, I'd say you landed somewhere in Germany in the 1940s, 1 or 2 generations back. During the war, I'd imagine.
1940s Germany? That would be Miriam Kurtz, my ex-husband's mother.
So she's not related to you in any way?
God, I hope not. I'd hate to find out my ex-husband is also my brother.
Well, if it was Miriam Kurtz, then we hit a home run. You tapped into someone else's bloodline entirely.
Should we celebrate?
We'll listen first.
Surrogate Initiative, Test Session 23, July 29th, 1980. Host, Eileen Bach. DNA sample SB1970.
It's a little garbled at first. This is you settling into the memory.
Your name, say it.
My name is Miriam Kurtz.
Louder.
My name is Miriam Kurtz, and I am Navajo.
Where did you last see the artifact? Who holds it now?
I'll say nothing. I have told you all I know.
I don't believe that is true. Who has the artifact?
Hitler's dictates make us small and are bound in chains. But one day again, we shall walk tall. No binds will us restrain.
Enough!
For hard our fists, yes, and knives at our wrists for you to be free. Navajos lay siege.
Knock her away.
Navajos lay siege.
And that's where we pull you out.
Whoa. What would it take to get a visual render of all that?
months, unfortunately. It took 13 hours just to process the audio. Visual takes much longer.
But Vidic is able to record audio and visual in real time. How does he do it?
His subjects are exploring their own genetic memories. That requires much less processing power.
Hold on, sorry. Eileen here.
Hello. You have 10 o'clock in Lillian's office. It's 10:13 now.
Oh, shit. I'm sorry. Tell her I'll be right there. And tell her we have some good news.
No problem.
You in trouble?
The monthly progress report. I'm trying to be honest about our progress, but no matter how much I polish our facts, Warren Vidic swoops in, promising the moon for pennies, and gets 10 times the funding for his Animus project.
Well, we are using his Animus technology. He's the foundation. We are the skyscraper.
Which is why he should be a tech lead, not a project director. Good work, Satish.
It's incredible footage, really. Clear and vivid. And the subject was synced for a full 62 minutes. Came out speaking French after his last session. Passably fluent. And with full recall of everything he'd gone through.
Sorry I'm late. I was reviewing some data.
It's fine. Warren was just telling me about his first subject, Mr.
No names. Call him Subject 1. Confidentiality.
And how about you, Eileen? What's your good news?
Well, we did it. We synced with an unembedded memory outside the bloodline. That's a first.
Really?
Satish was able to process the audio today. A short clip. You can hear it for yourself.
Only audio? No real-time memory feeds like Vidic has?
Well, that's the difficulty with surrogate genetic memory data. Because I'm viewing memories not embedded in my own DNA, we can't rely on my cognitive faculties to help me process the signal. All we can do is record the raw data and transliterate it later.
Hold on. You're running this experiment on yourself?
I am. It's going well.
I don't like the sound of that.
Look, the sample I'm using, the DNA comes from my own son. It's safer this way.
Ah, good thinking.
50% of my son's DNA is also mine, which reduces the danger by a huge margin. Meaning, I can now explore the memories of people who aren't directly related to me on his father's side.
But for brief periods of time, I imagine.
Right. Just a minute or two so far, but we're getting there. Come by the lab and listen for yourself.
I will, when I have a moment. Unfortunately, work beckons. Ladies?
That man is colder than a San Francisco summer.
Stay focused, Eileen. You both have important work to do.
Obviously. But my work requires his Animus technology. I feel a little caged in.
That's collaboration, Eileen. It's how science works. I shouldn't have to remind you.
I know. I'm just tired. Stop by and see us today. We have a lot to share.
If not today, then this week sometime.
Thank you.
We are attempting to synchronize the DDS system. This will only take a moment. We are almost there. The DDS is now in sync. Thank you for your patience. We hope you enjoy your experience. Rudolf II invited many notable figures to his court, making Prague the center of European culture. Among them were Englishman Edward Kelly and his stepdaughter, Elizabeth Jane Weston. Observe her and report any alleged collusion.
February 12, 1981. Qualitative personal interview with Subject 1 on ancestral research regarding Avalon de Grand Prix. How are you feeling? Any side effects?
Not really. Aside from the headaches. They've been worse since I started staying in longer. But I don't want to stop. I like her. I want to know what she does next.
What's it like? Reliving her memories.
So different. The Animus, I mean. The past. At first it was confusing. Distracting. Like New Orleans, the stench. I wasn't expecting all the smells.
Smell is the sense most directly linked to memory.
When I'm in her memories, it's like I can smell more than I usually can.
In general, women have a more acute sense of smell than men do. I had wondered how that would translate. Anything else?
Yeah. She's smaller than me, but it's like her body could do more.
Did that surprise you?
At first, yeah. The ERA people might hate me for this or whatever, but I don't usually think of girls that way. Climbing things. My mom, my sisters. The animal feeling of Aveline sinking her hidden blade into the throat of...
Go on.
It doesn't feel feminine. What I think of as feminine. But then at the same time it does. Her center of gravity is way lower. That was a surprise. How easy it is to land. How steady I am on her feet. Sorry. This is hard to talk about.
No, it's fascinating. This is what we need. Pure experience, in your own words.
Okay.
Can you tell me about Gerald Blunk?
What about him?
He and Evelyn were close, but we haven't been able to ascertain if he might be your missing ancestor. Do her memories suggest anything to you? Does this make you uncomfortable? Remember, these are her memories. You're just playing them back. It's not even acting. You're a researcher.
Like you say, I haven't experienced her consummating anything. That would be... Anyway, I think maybe she was confused.
Oh.
Well, first of all, I don't really know for sure, okay? I mean, guys think about sex more than girls, right? That's a fact.
As a researcher, what did you observe?
Does it mean she's more like a guy if she thinks about... Is that why she's able to assassinate? Well, okay, here's the thing. I don't know her thoughts, but from what's in her memories, physically, the fidgeting, some hesitation, what she looked at, who she looked away from, the things she didn't say when I expected her to. If I had to guess what it meant, I would think she was thinking about sex. But I'm a guy, so I would think that, right? So what does it mean for women to act that way? It has to mean something else, right?
As a subject, you're able to observe more finely than I am in review. What about unwanted attention from men?
Well, I thought that would be the hardest thing to deal with. I'm not into that, for the record. Not at all.
Yes, I know.
But the way she dealt with it happens so often. It's like you stop noticing everything she does to avoid it. Crossing the street, eyes in the back of her head. She knew how to handle herself. When she was charming, felt kind of similar to killing. Or the build-up to killing. Can we take a break, Mr. Vidic?
Of course. Ready to go on?
Yes.
Evelyn was black.
And white. On her father's side.
You're sensitive to that?
I guess. I mean, I'm white. Evelyn looks black, so that's different. But you get used to it. Like with the girl thing. Until someone makes you not used to it.
What do you mean?
I don't think I've ever had to think so much about what I'm wearing or how I'm walking. But Evelyn, it's like she goes through her whole life in these uniforms.
People expect her to behave in a certain way.
Definitely. Sometimes I worry I'll slip up and play too relaxed at the warehouse and, I don't know, blow her cover.
You can't blow her cover.
I know. I'm just replaying the memories. I can't change them, I know. But I see it, right? It's a risk. It's...
stressful?
Yes. It's best when she goes out as an assassin. On the roofs or in the bayou. I think she was more relaxed that way. Can you imagine? You're only relaxed when you're going to kill someone.
Let's stick to memories rather than imagination. What about the slaves?
They're kind of just everywhere. I mean, that sounds bad. Slavery is bad, but no one's acting like slavery's bad. It's fun when she frees slaves. Is it supposed to be fun?
We're not looking for supposed to. Focus on what it is.
Si è dimesso. Non l'hai saputo.
Stavolta sarò breve, papà. Solo un paio di cose che voglio dirti se dovesse andare male. Se oggi non raggiungerò il tempio. Ho cercato di essere ottimista finora, ma stavolta non ci riesco. Forse tutto quel tempo speso nei ricordi di Connor mi ha reso ansioso. La sua storia è così dolorosa, così forte. Eppure non perdeva la speranza anche quando gli altri lo deludevano. Continuo a ripetermi che faccio la cosa giusta, che posso fermare il disastro. Lo so che la tecnologia è là, in attesa di essere utilizzata. Sono l'ultimo pezzo del puzzle. Qualcosa nei miei geni o nei miei ricordi è il codice che serve ad attivare tutto quanto. Per questo sono qui. Per questo mi hanno guidato qui. Solo che non so a che cosa dovrò rinunciare in cambio. La mia lucidità, la mia vita. È impossibile dirlo. So solo che la nostra lotta contro i Templari non finirà. Qualunque cosa contenga il Tempio non finirà. È l'ennesimo capitolo di questa storia infinita. Ora toccherà a te, e alla mamma, e a Sean e Rebecca continuare a scriverla. Sai una cosa? Penso spesso a una frase detta da Orson Welles. Qualcosa tipo che se vuoi un lieto fine devi fermare la trama al punto giusto. Forse è questa la risposta. Forse è così che le persone vanno avanti. Se qualcosa lì dentro andasse male, papà, se dovesse accadere qualcosa a me, quando racconterai la mia storia in futuro, ti prego, devi dire a tutti che ho perso la strada, ma che poi l'ho ritrovata, appena in tempo per salvare il mondo, e poi non aggiungere altro. Voglio che chi l'ascolterà sorrida. Addio, papà. Salutami la mamma. Dille che le voglio bene, ok? Dille che voglio bene a entrambi. Vi voglio tanto bene.
And we will go right. Up. Right. Up. Left. Down. And right. And up or down as you please.
Se dovesse succedere ancora...
Surrogate Initiative, Test Session 37, August 9th, 1981. Host Eileen Bach, DNA sample SB1970.
Open!
Good morning, Miss Kurtz. You look well, considering the circumstances. Are you rested? Have you eaten? Your friends are dead, Miriam. Bartel Schink and all his navigators, his Edelweiss pirates, executed for 5 counts of murder.
It has a trial. You must be proud.
There was no need! They were scum! All of them! You hear me? All of you are scum! Scum! Scum!
I see it so clearly now. He didn't break, did they? You have nothing.
Quiet, girl!
You don't have the artifact. If you did, you wouldn't be talking to me at all. Never use lace seat.
I said
never use lace seat. Never use lace seat.
Eileen, open your eyes. Can you hear me? Eileen! Eileen!
Power's off! Get the position in here! Step aside, son!
Eileen, talk to me. Can you open your eyes?
Clear! Oh, God. No spots!
All right. Notes towards a speech in honor of Dr. Eileen Bach's premature retirement. When I first learned of Dr. Bach's unfortunate accident, I couldn't help but feel a great sense of loss at... No. Dr. Eileen Bach has and always will be a friend and colleague. When I first learned of her unfortunate accident, I was shocked, of course. To see any friend injured in such a way is deeply upsetting. And to further learn that her injuries were severe enough to force a premature conclusion to her brilliant career, well, I would not wish that fate on anyone. But if there is any solace to be found in her accident, it may be this: that she was injured in service of her research, in service of work that she cherished most dearly. And it is thanks to her, it is due to her diligence, that some of the mysteries of genetic memory have been further illuminated. And while it is true that work on her project, the Surrogate Initiative, as she called it, has been temporarily halted, the copious amount of work she has done over the past 3 years has been incredibly valuable. So while her work has been suspended for the time being, her legacy will most certainly live on. Quiet, Joan! Quiet!
Le nostre prime ricerche su Radonageddon si sono concentrate sul periodo dell'adolescenza fino ai 30 anni. Ma i ricercatori non sono rimasti particolarmente colpiti dai suoi modi pacati e dagli occasionali scoppi di folle violenza. Non ci sembrava un personaggio adatto a essere selezionato. Così ci siamo spostati sulla sua prima infanzia, pensando che l'America precoloniale potesse risultare più interessante. Come vedete, c'è un fascino ingenuo nell'innocenza di questo ragazzino. Purtroppo i nostri ricercatori hanno scoperto che la storia di questo giovane è anch'essa troppo problematica. Innanzitutto la preponderanza della cultura Mohawk non lascia spazio per raccontare le vere origini dell'America. E in secondo luogo, la lingua Mohawk presenta evidenti problemi per gran parte del pubblico. Pertanto riteniamo che sebbene i primi anni di Radonageddon possano interessare un pubblico più colto, è improbabile che abbiano successo su vasta scala. Sono troppo strani, insomma, per l'utente medio. Il nostro team suggerisce di scartare questo progetto.
Surrogate Initiative, Test Session 27, October 21st, 1980. Host Eileen Bach, DNA sample SB1970.
Miriam, my dear girl, there is no good reason for you to be here. But your intransigence requires that I detain you until you give me information I can act upon. The location of the artifact, perhaps, or the whereabouts of your leader, Bartle Shink. Just a little something to give Minister Goebbels some encouragement that we are on the right track.
How about a nice hug? He looks so sad in all his photographs.
Yes, he does, doesn't he? Perhaps you could pay him a visit yourself. He likes beautiful women, actresses, musicians.
Pirates?
That's right, pirates. Pirates of the Edelweiss. Isn't that what you kids call yourselves? It's very amusing. And illegal, of course.
Breaking Hitler's laws is half the fun.
Oh, I imagine so. I imagine you were having a wonderful time just before we captured you on the search of friends.
And that's the end of it.
Damn it. Why can't we sustain the signal for more than just a few minutes? I need to relax.
That's not the issue. This is dangerous work. These memories aren't in your bloodline. That's why it's not holding.
There's got to be a solution.
Any idea what they mean by the artifact? I've heard it a few times now.
Not sure. I don't think Miriam knew either. Not much comes into her mind when she asks about it.
But she's protecting the other members of her group, the Edelweiss Pirates or something?
Yeah. Bartol Shink. Have we looked him up?
No, we can.
We should. Put your intern on it.
Right. High priority.
Yeah. This isn't getting any easier. Jesus.
Hello?
Hi, Seamus. It's Mom.
Hey.
How are you?
Dad! It's Mom!
Hello, Eileen.
Hi, Carl. How's Seamus?
Great. We were out shopping for school clothes.
Yeah. The summer just sped by.
They all do.
I never seem to notice. No windows in the office.
Right. Trapped in the lab. So, did you need to talk?
Yes, sorry. I was curious about your mother, actually.
Oh. Okay.
How much did she talk about the war when you were growing up?
Not often. Bits and pieces. Why?
I was doing some research last week about World War II, and something came up about the Edelweiss Pirates, or the Navajos, and your mother's name popped up.
Really? That's an odd coincidence.
Does any of that ring a bell?
Yeah. Mom ran with that group while the war was on. There were a group of kids who wanted to avoid the Hitler Youth programs, but in later years they escalated their activities to bigger ideas like vandalism and sabotage.
But why Navajos and pirates?
Just some of the names they used. Navajos, Edelweiss Pirates, you know, kids. There were little pins, little white flowers. I may still have hers.
That's interesting.
And this is for work? Researching my mother?
Not exactly, but... Sorry, I can't talk about it.
Right. You never could.
Hey, don't. I didn't mean to be flippant.
No. Don't mind me. All for the greater good.
I like to think so.
you all right?
Damn it! 5 months of this bullshit! We're floundering.
Take it easy, Eileen. You're just stressed.
I am not stressed. I'm frustrated. I'd like to go again this afternoon.
No, there is no reason to rush this.
We're hardly rushing. We're running into the same wall over and over again. Why can't we push through? Why can't you keep me in the Animus longer than 2 minutes?
Because surrogate genetic memory data is fragile. The EEG is exploding and your brain is doing too much work. The longer you stay in, the more damage it does. It's even possible that...
Possible that?
It's possible the memories we're digging into could eventually overwrite your own. Like information on a tape drive. There's just not enough space in your head to do both.
Here I come to save the day! Good afternoon, all.
Did you invite him?
No.
But you did. Remember?
That was months ago, Warren. What do you need?
I wanted to stop by. Check on your progress.
Well, apparently it's still too dangerous to keep me under for more than a few minutes.
I always suspected that would be your biggest hurdle. The genetic memory sequencing is the easy part, if time-consuming. But the replay, that's something else.
Yes?
Let's think this through. My subjects are diving into their own genetic memories, so the information is already encoded in their heads.
Which means the Animus has less work to do. Less computing, less parsing.
Right. So to get your surrogate data working, to let people experience foreign memories, it'll take a hell of a lot more processing power than anyone has. Even Abstergo Industries.
Ideally, we'd like to build an external processor that mirrors as many brain functions as possible. Something to handle the calculations.
But the cost and upkeep of that would be
astronomical. Let me see what I can do. I have some sway with Lillian. We won't build Rome in a day, but if we focus on the pretty buildings first, maybe we'll achieve something.
Thank you, Warren.
Till next, folks.